Welcome to LWL April 2019. Thank you all for coming, and thank you for March. I'm going to tell you about April. Sorry. LWL, Live, Work, Love Hartford, has been going continuously every month for over 6 years. It's a ragtag group that gets together to talk about issues in Hartford and the region and have a speaker or have a site to visit. And we are very grateful to be at Teachers Village. This building has been vacant for many, many years. Roseanne Haggerty originally was given control of it and has turned it over to the Teachers Village project. We have our hosts here from RBH. They are here from New Jersey to host and welcome us today. And before I introduce it to Ron Bate, I'd like to remind everyone we have another session, April 24th, and that one will be at Spotlight Theater, and the guest will be April Turner and Alice Turner, and the program is on the table over there. So again, thank you, CPTV. Thank you to our hosts. I'm not telling them anything about the project because you know it all and there are so many questions. So we look forward to hearing your presentation and asking you lots of questions. Again, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us today. Really appreciate you making us part of this stop on your monthly programs. And I'm not sure I'm the one that can answer all the questions, but I got Linda and Linda here today with me that can. But thank you very much. We are extremely excited that you're here pre-opening. The building is officially opening May 1st. And we've been extremely excited about this project. Our Teachers Village project was born in Newark, New Jersey. This is the second Teachers Village, but there's already a third, fourth, and fifth on the way. Chicago, Miami, and Atlanta coming up next, but Hartford is our second one, and we're extremely excited about it. It should have been first, right? But Newark, New Jersey was the first one, and it's the vision, originated in Newark around a workforce housing strategy. We have a master plan in downtown Newark, and we became fixated on the lack of workforce housing across the country. Not only in the high rent neighborhoods like San Francisco or New York, but cities like Newark also had a lack of supply of workforce housing. And so around the dialogue we were having in Newark back about 10 years ago around the district schools and education reform and so forth, we started honing in on, where do the teachers in Newark live? And what we found in Newark was similar in most cities across the country, that only about 15% of the teachers actually lived in the city that they were teaching in. And that was because they either couldn't afford it or there just wasn't supply. And so we were working with then Mayor Cory Booker, who's now Senator of New Jersey. We were working on a public investment strategy to be able to create housing in the downtown. So we were working at the state level, and when we started working with a coalition in New Jersey to create those investments, we became fixated on the fact that our first project should be a workforce housing project that would utilize that financing structure. One of our partners was the Prudential Social Investment Group that brought us here to Hartford. They were working here with Roseanne, and it came up in some sort of community meeting that they thought that maybe this project would be a good project for workforce housing, and Prudential immediately sort of reached out to us, and we became fixated on this project. Not only the location, but we were welcomed open arms here in the city and the state, working with the city of Hartford, working with CRDA, working with DOH and DEC, CHAFA, and a coalition of organizations. And I'll tell you, it's really a tribute to the state that we're here. They had this Champs Award that they do annually, where the state organizations get together and collectively look at projects. And we were able to, as outsiders, come in and submit an idea for this project, and we immediately galvanized the support we needed. And within a few months, we not only won the Champs Award, but we won the largest award in the state of Connecticut and the only award for Hartford, Connecticut. And so that was, it's really a tribute to this sort of, to the cooperation among the organizations in Connecticut and Hartford. And we were off to the races from there with our partners, Prudential, who's actually a partner in the project, and the Goldman Sachs Urban Investment Group, who's a partner in the project. And so we're really excited. So let me just tell you quickly what Teachers Village is. So it is, in the first instance, a project, a housing project for teachers. We aim to have 70% teachers in the project and 30% other professionals and lifelong learners. The teachers we prefer K through 12 teachers, either of the district, independent schools, or charter schools of the city. But you know, all teachers are welcome, and we prefer teachers of Hartford, but surrounding communities welcomed as well. And then other professionals in workforce housing, other professionals and lifelong learners, insofar as the economic mandate is concerned. So similar to Newark, in Newark, we were the first ground-up residential buildings in 40, 50 years there, and we're not here, and so we're building within a community. But similarly, there's an economic development mandate. You're trying to create a housing market. You're trying to attract more people to the downtown. And so that's where that 30% comes in. But beyond the housing, we're much more than that. We're all kinds of, we are a community for educators centered around education. And so one of the key pieces of a Teachers Village is that we have a continuing education piece where teachers will have access to credits towards an MBA, a Master's in Education, Master's in Public Policy, all kinds of professional certification and professional development programming, and then all kinds of offerings for the community. So it's really an open source classroom in that way. We welcome all nonprofits. We welcome all community organizations with any type of educational programming, and generally we'll have, you know, a core curriculum of remedial English, math, and reading for the community. We have all kinds of fun stuff too. It's community gardening and wine, and so the first one's opening up in the fall in Newark, New Jersey, and then the second one's intended to be here, activation of the ground floor retail, and looking and sort of now working with community organizations to bring them and partner with us on that effort. But it's really beyond the sort of physical space of that. It's really a community for educators. And so the vision was centered around teachers meeting in the gym that we'll have here, and meeting in the hallway, and really exchanging ideas and socializing. And that's sort of the incalculable value of clustering teachers, right? Senior teacher with a junior teacher, and what can come out of that for the children of Hartford, and beyond, and really ultimately. It becomes a recruitment and retention tool for the city of Hartford to be able to recruit the best teachers. It's a tool for the school system to use when attracting and trying to recruit teachers, that need to fill necessary spots. We know anecdotally that Newark has recruited teachers from Atlanta and all through the Midwest, and because they've had a housing community and residential units to offer them, that they came specifically and won out among other school districts to bring them to the city of Newark. And I think similarly today, or May 1st, we will have a similar product here for you in Hartford, and we thank you very much for having us, and thank you very much for coming out tonight. I'm used to this.
I have 100 questions.
Please. I'm going to turn it over to Linda now.
I will try and keep it to my top views so that you can answer all of them.
Yes.
So, the first one is in terms of, at LWL, we go to a lot of buildings before they're open. We get welcomed in, we get this. It's very nice to see what's happening. And we know that typically what's happened in downtown, Suzanne can speak towards our very high occupancy rates, that there will be people signed up way before you're open. So my first question is in terms of I understand when you say the schools can say, if you come, we have a place we can recommend you live. But for right now, when there's demand for housing downtown, how do you vet or get applications or get housing for teachers without being discriminatory, without putting yourself in that place where somebody might say, I wanted it, and they wouldn't give it to me because I'm an accountant.
Right.
That's the first question. The second question is, when you speak towards these continuing ed things, everybody has access to continuing ed. All you have to do is go to a school, and we're surrounded by universities here. Speak specifically towards what that means here. Like, are you providing that? Is that part of what they're paying for? I didn't understand that. So
Yeah.
can you speak towards those 2 points?
Yes.
And I'll get my other 98 questions in after I give some other people a chance.
Perfect. So first of all, you should know under fair housing rules, federally and in Connecticut, teachers are not a protected class. So you can prefer teachers, right? Teachers can be of any age, gender, and so there's no, they're not a protected class. So you can prefer teachers, and we do. There is no mandate from.
You can prefer them because
You can prefer them because they're not a protected class under fair housing rules. So you're not discriminating if you're preferring a teacher, because teachers are from all genders, sex, cultures, and so forth. So you can have a preference towards teachers. And so we have an internal preference that we have 70% teachers, 30% other lifelong learners. And so,
Excuse me,
Yeah.
20% of the
lifelong learners.
lifelong learners are other professionals, basically everyone else. Right. Yeah. So that's that. And then and so we do have, when we, on our application, we have Imagineers here who's doing the leasing and management of the project, who's a local Hartford institution here. And so when you go to our portal, there is a teacher's application, and then there's an application for everyone else. So that's how we manage that, and we self-govern ourselves on the 7%. It's not a mandate by the government. At the end of the day, the financiers want to know that you have a multifamily product here and you're going to lease it. So there is affordability restrictions, and that's sort of what the state and the city get. In terms of sort of covenants and guarantees. But in terms of the teachers, it's really self-mandated by RBH. In terms of the continuing education business, yes, you have a lot of universities you can go to continuing education. The idea of the continuing education that we have, first of all, it's part of our lifestyle. And so it's actually like a 21st century co-working type space. So it's very accessible. It's not walking onto a university campus or, walking into, some sort of big collegiate building, although those are great. There's nothing wrong with that. This is really intended to be part of the neighborhood, very easily accessed. You can literally go to learn something quickly and go for dinner, and it's really intended to be not necessarily, there is some curriculum, but there's a lot of just programming, come for an hour, learn about architecture, go to dinner. And so it's really part of more of an entertainment piece, and part of the lifestyle. Now, Rutgers, we're working with Rutgers University in Newark, New Jersey for that piece of that here. They were actually just here today to think about how the programming might look, who we can partner with, and what are the community organizations that might be a good partner for us there. We do have access to Rutgers that can provide degrees. We would like to work with local universities, so we are working that piece out right now. But we do have some core curriculum that we can bring from New Jersey.
But that's not included in there, or that they don't pay additional for that?
No, they do. The queue is sort of at ground floor. It's a totally separate operation, and there's a range.
They're bringing it in.
Bring it in. So there's a range of programming. So some of it is paid for. If you're getting credits towards an MBA, there will be paid for the credits. And then there's free classes to the community also, and everything in between, all kinds of professional certification, professional development. So there's a range of curriculum, and quite frankly, it's very strategic in terms of being able to be sustainable, number one, but number two, also being very accessible and desired by the community. So it is sort of a sort of market-specific curriculum.
And you would offer it here in the building in like a community room?
Yeah, actually, we're thinking it's either going to be in the community rooms, or actually we're thinking about maybe a little bit more robust on the ground floor retail here.
Following that up, will Rutgers then be part of the consortium?
We think so, yes. The idea is yes. The idea is yes.
Consortium.
Oh, no. I don't think that. I think they would just come and bring some core curriculum here, partner with whoever wants to partner here, provide, sort of collaborate on operations and curriculum. And
Well, there is, the Greater Hartford Consortium of Higher Ed is very important. They represent all these schools as a group. And I would guess it would make a lot of sense to think about that.
No, absolutely. And the idea is to bring a local university on board, so that there's a real partnership, a real curriculum. It can take time, and with all the governmental steps that we have to take for entitlements and public investments, we just want to be able to provide some core curriculum. But over time, we do expect to work with all the universities.
I went to your website, saw it.
Okay.
Very interesting, exciting, and we're number 2.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
In this proposal.
Thank you.
Couple of questions. First of all, what's the total budget for the project?
This one,
Yeah, roughly.
I think it was about 25 million, 20 to 25 million. Matt, do you remember? About 20 to 25 million.
Okay. And how many units?
60.
60 units. And how many of those are market rate?
Matt? 43
are market rate, so the balance is not, okay. And are you charging extra for the $1 million view of the soldiers and sailors dating back to just after Civil War?
As of
the Capitol and Bushnell Park?
as of today, when I saw it this evening, yes.
I tell you, that is
I mean, it doesn't get better than this.
this is great.
Yeah.
So you're starting May 1st,
May 1st,
available?
yes.
And how are you doing in leasing?
Amazing, actually. You know, we had an unfortunate delay here with the local utility, but the building's been ready since November. But and we've had a nice cohort of 50% of the units were leased at that time. They've stayed with us through the winter, which has been amazing. It's been really unbelievable. And so now we're just restarting up the leasing campaign again because we didn't have any certainty as to when we were delivering because we couldn't get the power turned on here. Wow. And so now we're finishing up the leasing, but we 50% of the units are about plus or minus. We're already pre-leased. They stayed with us, and so we expect in the next 60, 90 days that we'll be, at stabilization.
And are they largely teachers?
Not as many as we want, and we're going heavy now because teachers generally don't lease in the winter months. It's really the springtime that they're making decisions for next year, September. So this is our teacher market here. So we're really hitting it now, yeah.
So what's the range of rents? So for something like this beautiful view, what's this?
This unit itself is $1980 for a 2-bedroom. It's $1,800 for teachers.
As a market rate unit.
As a market, yeah.
Oh, so it's less, they pay less if they're a teacher than someone who's not?
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes, it's been built into the budget. RBH is built into the budget to assist the teachers. That's one of the platforms.
That's excellent, because all the people in this room who know me know I am not a naysayer or negative, but what I hear people saying, I do live downtown, what I hear people saying is, how can teachers afford to live downtown?
Yes. And that's
Is
what
that the
RBH's
question
goal
that's
is.
coming
Yeah.
to you?
That's what RBH's goal is to provide affordability to teachers.
So we get, and this is a 2-bedroom apartment, and when you think about $1,800, $900 per bedroom for a teacher is a very affordable rent.
We also have a few units that are at 30% area median income, which are marketed to veterans in the area as well. And I think that's important to note. It's
Yeah.
as well one of the components of this project.
Did you say 30% of median?
Yeah, 30% of area median income. So we have very low affordable, yeah. So to veterans.
How about accessibility?
So the building is fully code compliant, ADA compliant. We have elevators, fully built to new code. Exactly, all the bathrooms and, fully ADA compliant, the building.
So you're not concerned about, we have a lot of units coming on this next year. You're not concerned about, you think you'll be able to handle the flood of new stuff coming in the next year? You think you can handle that?
Look at that view again.
Exactly. I was just going to say, look at the view and look at this apartment. We don't really have competition. No, listen, we're always watching units and absorption and so forth. We do have a unique, community that we're going after, and we provide a unique lifestyle for teachers. And so, based on the pre-leasing that we had and the commitment that those tenants have had already, we really not that
Do you
concerned.
take retired teachers?
Yeah, of course, sure.
I already asked.
Yeah. They add a really important dimension and experience to the teachers that are living here, and that's the idea. Yes.
So
Suzanne Hopgood, Chair of CRDA. Just as a note, the market is 95%
Right.
occupied.
Thank you.
So there's
Suzanne,
a lot of absorption that can take place before there's a big impact on occupancy.
I was gonna throw this to you and say, the buildings that are all opening in the near future, they're all so different. Arch Street is so different from the ones at the new Spectre. Don't you think that they
Pearl
really
Street is
target?
450 square foot built-in furniture units. Could not be more different.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And
Yeah.
there's a wide array of
Product.
coming on the market.
This location is one of the best locations I've seen in downtown Hartford for mass transportation services. I mean, you're like a quarter of a block or something from Union Station, I'm guessing. And that's where CT Fast Track is its basic terminus.
Yeah.
Although they circulate around
The
downtown.
Hartford line.
Which is an 9.3 mile line.
Yes.
11 stations, and then
Can you speak to the camera, please?
I don't know if it's-
Here, take the mic. Yeah.
So you got CT Fast Track is right here.
Yeah.
The terminus, with 11 stations and all stuff going down into Brighton, so that's fantastic. You've got the Hartford line, the new commuter rail line, New Haven through Hartford to Springfield, which doesn't have enough capacity right now, we gotta work on that, but, you know, it's right there, so you take the line to Springfield, you take it to New Haven, and everywhere in between. And then you've got walking distance, lots of things right around here, so you don't need a car.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you do need a car if you need to drive somewhere to teach, so where's the parking?
So
So that's my final question. And then a comment, by the way, you do need to charge even more for this unit, one of these units facing this way, because the St. Patrick's Day Parade I was marching at, marches right underneath.
Oh, really? That's
And
great.
it takes a corner and goes right through the arch.
Wow, unbelievable.
So that's worth another $500.
Absolutely. So
This parade day. Oh, fireworks.
yeah.
The Jazz Festival?
Yeah. So few things. First of all, we do have parking in the building, and we have only about 17 spots, but we've leased a bunch of spots next door also, so we have parking for the tenants. But number two, you hit on a very key fact. When we look for a location for a teacher's village, we have to be near mass transit. We want our teachers to access as many schools as possible within the municipality, and so being near mass transit is one of our key indicators of a location that of where we locate a teacher's village. So it's absolutely, we were very focused on the fact of the mass transit and the location and so forth, and just the park and the beautiful views was fortuitous.
And one other thing, I'm going down to Newark this weekend for an NHL game.
Oh, nice.
And I'm going to ask the driver if he can swing by your other.
Please. Are you
It's
going to the Devils Rangers game on Monday?
Saturday's game.
Oh, I'm gonna be Devils Rangers. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's definitely better.
Well, come see us. Come see it. Absolutely, come swing by and.
We'll pay the driver a little bit extra.
Yeah, absolutely.
One block away.
Yeah, it's literally you can
One
park.
block away. You can
Yeah.
park and walk over.
Yeah, walk
a
over.
block to-
We're so well located.
I will say something about the Newark Teachers Village, and just as sort of maybe some optimism for Hartford. When we were again the first ground up residential buildings there in 40 or 50 years, there's been over $1 billion of development since then in the downtown, and there's over a $4 billion pipeline now. And so I love that you're going down to Newark for a game, and I welcome you to drive all of downtown Newark, where there's been a tremendous amount of development in recent
Would
years.
you be mad at us if we steal the team, bring them over here?
That's your objective? Interesting. I would actually. Yeah, right, exactly. Yes.
So when you talk about
St. Louis
Newark,
Blues.
yeah, I'm just wondering, you mentioned that sort of additional stimulus maybe that happens around. Is there anything that, you already mentioned a few things in terms of the lower floor, but is there anything else that maybe typically happens around the teacher village, other spring ups in terms of other?
It's first of all, in Newark specifically, we found that the teachers were first movers. So they were willing to move into a community and buy into a community in order for them to be in a community of other educators. And so from that standpoint, it was very interesting. The other thing is it really is interesting, the ecosystem around teachers. A lot of nonprofits, a lot of NGOs, a lot of social impacted minded ideologues, like to be around teachers, and it's a very interesting community that sort of is attracted to Teachers Village. And I think, you know, if we do the ground floor space properly, that we can create that ecosystem here, and I think that we can really create a destination at this end of Asylum Street, and I think we can create a very, you know, sort of a destination and a unique gathering place for, you know, interesting folks.
I think another thing to add is that this idea of the Lifelong Learning Center has been a real driver in Newark. We've had people approach us saying, I have a great idea and I need to get it out to teachers. Could I incubate this in your Lifelong Learning Center to do financial literacy for teachers, to talk about being an entrepreneur as a teacher, so you might make a little money on the side, or how you get your curriculum out to a larger audience. We've had over 300 people come on a weekend to share best practices across charter schools, private schools, public schools, teachers working together to, and that's been happening at Teachers Village because of this community. We also have principals we have some charter schools that are part of our Teachers Village project, and they are hosting parents and students in their apartments on weekends and in evenings. They're having teachers who do progressive dinners. So there's a whole community that's grown up around the fact that they all live together and enjoy being in that community.
And again, this is only the second one, right? So we have a much larger vision. The programming, the curriculum is really growing over time. We are incubating ideas and welcoming new ideas. And if there's a good idea in Hartford, it can go to Newark, and then it can go to Chicago. So the idea is that as we plant our flags in cities across the country, that the programming and the lifestyle and the community and the benefit to not only the community but those that live here is just going to, you know, incrementally grow over time. Yes.
Once you finish this building, there's some beautiful space over at Union Place. You should go over and take a look at maybe
Absolutely. You know, we saw a beautiful building right there in the park, a big telephone company building there. Is someone doing anything with that thing?
You're joking, but you mentioned earlier when we were talking that Newark is actually a complex of 5 or 6 buildings.
Yes.
So do you see that, being that right now Hartford is so much smaller, is that a location or is that a...
So Newark was interesting, right? Newark, where we built, it was 92% parking lot. They had demolished the entire area. And we really had to create a community overnight, because otherwise we would have been an island in and of ourselves. And so we did create 6 buildings there. It was a much larger project. It was 400,000 square feet. We built 4 new schools, so about 1,000 new kids at schools there. We had 203 residential units there. We had like 65,000 square feet of retail, and we really created a village campus. That being said, and so here, very different and very exciting, actually, that we're building into a community that already exists, that is already developed over time. But we're here now. We've built here. We have the team here. We know how it all works after taking a long time to figure it out. So it's a natural for us and efficient for us to do more here in Hartford, and we'd love to do it as soon as this thing leases up and we sort of gauge demand, which should be when we think about that, we did 203 units with a 40,000 pupil school district in Newark, and you have about 20,000 children in your school. There's 16 to 20,000 kids in your school district. Means that it just, proportionally, we have a lot more units that we can do here, and so we'd absolutely look to do more.
Wow, that's good.
You keep saying we, so, and I know probably the party line is to say, yes, we're part of the community and we're doing that, but in truth, so you're not just building this building and then collecting money and then leaving. Do you remain a part of that, or are you the driving force behind all of these, again, initiatives of bringing people in and making things happen? It doesn't sound like the teachers would sort of be able to get their own things going. That's a lot to ask them to do when they come home, to then start engaging in conversations about bringing people in to create education and ongoing learning. So is that something that you remain a part of?
Yeah, so first of all, we remain in the ownership. It's not a condominium building. We're not selling out and leaving. We have long-term views on these projects. We deliberately lay off the property management and the leasing and the day-to-day on a third-party company so we can focus on two things. Number one is the actual development of the projects, and even that we're really good at the financing piece of it, and we even look to work with joint venture developers on development so we can lay some of those activities off too. The sort of design, although we build to a very specific specification, but some of the design and construction we can lay off on local developers that can, quite frankly, probably do it better than us because they know the local GCs and so forth. But we make sure that we envision the project, we make sure we envision the capital stack, the financial stack of that, and that's what my team focuses on. We're very good. The other piece of what we focus on is the ongoing programming, the ongoing community, the ongoing lifestyle, because that is what we're branding across the country. So it's really important for us that it's done right, and over time it'll be done better. The more partnerships we bring to the table, the larger scale it is, the better the programming becomes. And so that piece of it is just starting. And so we are here to stay. We have long-term financial structures in place, and so yes, it's us. It's literally us.
It's a 7-person office or a 10-person office, and really the vision is really Ron's. You know?
Yeah, there's 10 of us, and we deliberately keep it small, but we're a very dynamic group that really literally focuses on those two pieces. You know, we do have a director of construction who's built millions of square feet. But who really just oversees the construction. La Rosa was the builder here. They were phenomenal, by the way. It was a perfect execution. Our director of construction came once a week, plugging in with them, sets it up on a reporting basis, and we're just overseeing that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. And so it really, you know, we work with, you know, local teams, and we really just sort of view ourselves as sort of, you know, overseeing.
Ron, what happened with the utility company?
Oh, boy.
Eversource, NBC,
I've never seen anything like it in my life. It was, I don't even, it all worked out. It all worked out.
Wow. The lights are still on.
Yeah, they just got on.
I think this is terrific. I think it's amazing.
Thank you very
I
much.
think you're going to be filled up so fast because the demand is so strong downtown.
Yeah.
I wish you all.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for coming out tonight. Thank you. Thank you.
Public Access TV.
Thank you, yeah.
And we look forward to the grand opening.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So when's the grand opening?
Well, May 1st, people start to move in. We'll do the grand opening sometime after that. We just want to get folks in, and then we'll do a grand opening. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks for driving up here.
Thank you.